This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
Hey there, Silk. How are you? You're early.
Hey, I'm on time. I'm doing good. I
Oh my
appreciate you
gosh.
all.
Oh my gosh. Crazy, crazy things going on. How have you
Thank
been
you.
for these past 2 weeks?
I've been doing pretty well, hanging in there, but doing pretty well. Very, very busy.
Good. I hear you on that one, girlie. I hear you. I'm going to both ends. I mean, my goodness. Real quickly, everybody, if you guys don't mind sharing out the space, let's get some more people in here because it's yeah, as you know, yeah, it's always a great time with Silk in here. She brings the laugh. She brings the truth, but she's a good time. So if you guys don't mind reposting the space and getting some people in here, we'll have some fun in here. So, Silk, let's talk about what we're just hearing right now with the Hamas and the Israel. They're coming to some kind of agreement. What do you think of that?
Oh, well, that's a good thing. About
Yeah.
time for President Donald J. Trump be in the medium. Hold on 1 second, you all. When I'm getting ready, I'm listening to my music. Everything decided it wanted to come on. Let me just remove that. But yeah, thank God for President Donald J. Trump for standing in the gap, being the medium between the two, and making some things happen because it's time out for that foolishness.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing. And then we're seeing him at the 250th anniversary of the Navy over the weekend. He and Melania, that was super cool.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
to see her go up there and speak, and they embraced each other. That was a if you guys didn't see that, that was absolutely amazing.
oh yeah, oh yeah. She really loves President Donald J. Trump. I remember being at one of the Super Bowl parties, and I had to get up and go and use the restroom. So my handlers was walking me through, and as we was coming back, he stopped everything, stopped everybody. Came, come here, Soak, and came and he said, "You and Diamond, you all come up here and sit with me at my table." So we had the honor and pleasure of going to sit with President Trump at his table, and Melania and her mother and father, and she was just so attentive to President Donald J. Trump. So Melania, she really truly loves her husband.
I love that. They look like they have a great bond, and of course, everybody wants to try to tear that apart. For the audience, Silk, why don't you? I don't think many people may not know your relationship with Donald Trump and Melania. Why don't you kind of talk a little bit about that for those who don't know?
Well, real quick, it was Diamond and Silk, and this was doing back in 2015. A lot of people say 16, but it was actually 2015. After President Trump came down the escalators and announced that he was running for president, and my sister was already doing the YouTube videos, and so I joined her for a whole nother subject talking about Bill Cosby, and from that point, people loved us together. And so we continued on whatever video she wanted to do. I was right there to support and be her sidekick. and then what happened is Megyn Kelly did the debate. She was doing the debates with President Trump and whoever, all of the other candidates. It was a whole slew of candidates. And we did a video on Megyn Kelly. That video went viral. It caught the eyes of the Trump team. It was Michael Cohen and many others that reached out to us. One day, just sitting there minding our business, we get a phone call. President Trump wanted to speak to us. We spoke to him on the phone. Oh my God, I'm just thinking back. And then, excuse me, in November, we was invited to the debates there. I believe it was in Wisconsin. And they had us sitting up in the nosebleed. But so we did not get to actually meet President Trump. We saw him, on the stage. And then in December the 4th, 2015, we were invited by the Trump team to Raleigh, North Carolina, where President Trump did a rally. And that's when we first actually got to meet him in person. It was so amazing. And then from that point on, it's just, we love President Trump. President Trump loved Diamond and Silk. And it's been an amazing journey, an amazing friendship. I call him my friend. I do not exploit him, even though a lot of people try to use my sister and I, and now still myself, to try to get in our good gracious to have Trump do this, have Trump do that. We do not do that. And I believe that's why he could still call us friend, because we did not do that to him. We wasn't trying to get anything from him. We just wanted President Trump to be the president of the United States, because we believe that he is the one that could save this country. And so to this day, I may be sitting here and get a little phone call, and I'm like, hey, and he is my favorite president of all time. I know that he's your favorite president of all time. And he's a phenomenal individual, just to be amongst the family, be amongst his children. Laura Trump was on the Women for Trump. My sister and I, we was on the Women for Trump tour with Laura Trump, Lynn Patton, Katrina Pearson, and at the time, Omarosa was in the circle too. So we got to do a whole lot of good things as it pertained to President Trump, his team, and so forth. And I'm still here growing strong with the MAGA movement. I often say that, we call it the Trump train. My sister is the one that told the world to either get the hell out the way or get on the Trump train, get on the Trump train or get the hell out the way. And from that time, the Trump train was born. I said, I guess, well, we are the conductor of the Trump train, because we the one started it. And it's been growing ever since. And there's so many people that is actually switching to President Donald J. Trump, because they realize that he is for Americans, for the American citizens, and not illegal aliens. So people are waking up and realizing that, and that's a good thing. I thank God for that. So that's my experience with President Donald J. Trump. He's an amazing, phenomenal individual. And you know what, you all, he had, just like he's part of the family. Doing Diamond's service when she passed away, her celebration of life service, he came in and blended in just like he was the family. I mean, it was everybody. That's just how he treat everybody. The Secret Service wanted him to go ahead on. Okay, we got to go ahead on and leave so we can get back to Florida. He said, no, I want to go down and meet the people. So they had to follow him down, because he was going down to meet the people. And so, like I said, he's just like a uncle, like a father. I mean, he's just like one of the family members. So that's President Donald J. Trump. He's a real individual, phenomenal.
I love that. And you can truly see that. And with that story given, we're hearing a lot of bullshit narratives out there, and about Trump being compromised, and that he's Netanyahu's puppet and all this stuff. And I tell my audience, don't listen to it. It's just noise. And being that you have such a personal relationship with it, how does that make you feel when you hear stuff like that? Because obviously, I see exactly what you just described to us, as being a family man, like a father, like an uncle, a big teddy bear. I see all of that. He exudes that. You can see that. So with all this stuff being said out there, which I hate too, right? Because he's somebody's father, somebody's brother, son, all that stuff. How does that make you feel when you hear stuff like that? Because I just think it's crap. I think it's bullshit.
Well, you're absolutely right. It's straight up crap. I do not feel good about it, but I do understand the name of the game. The name of the game is to make a person be whatever the other individual, usually the liberal narrative, want them to be. So everybody just pile in on that one narrative to try to depict that person as that. So when you say something about President Trump, especially to a liberal, the first thing they want to say, well, he's a racist. Why? Because that's what the liberal narrative have been out there. So they can say whatever they truly want. At the end of the day, his actions speak louder than their words, because he's putting forth a good effort of bringing our country back, bringing things back to normal, removing the corruption. And when I see him doing that, I don't recall no other president doing that. A lot of the other presidents were straight up corrupt. I don't care if they was Republican or Democrats. We had 4 horrific years dealing with Democrats and Jim Crow Joe Biden. And, he basically destroyed this country. His regime destroyed this country, destroyed our wealth, destroyed the industries, destroyed our energy sources, and allowed people to infiltrate our systems. And to the point that it's just like it's a whole lot of rats clogging the pipe of the swamp. And but President Trump is cleaning house, and I want him to continue to clean house. President Trump is real. I'm telling you, when I see him sitting up there, I know when he's mad, when he's sitting back and he have his arms folded, and he's sitting up like you talking a lot of BS. I know you done ticked him off. I can tell when something is seriously wrong with him. So he is just straight up who you see. He is real. So don't listen to the naysayers. The naysayers are just jealous because they don't have a President Trump on their side. So they are upset.
Amen. I want to welcome Santino. Santino just popped into space, everybody. Hello, Santino. How are you?
I'm doing great. Sorry I'm late. I was just running down the street and I finally got in, so I'm a little late, but thank you for having me. Can everybody please go down to the purple pill that's at the bottom right of your phone? Can you please go in there? Please like the space, share the space, quote and share the space. Get this out there. Go into your private DMs, group DMs, get some more people in here. It's gonna be a phenomenal space. Lovely to see you both. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Santino. We were just talking about President Trump. So I don't know if you've seen this yet or not, Silk, but MJ Truth had posted a picture of Rubio coming and whispering in Trump's ear today about the whole agreement with Israel and Hamas and all that stuff. And then he puts it side by side with another picture of when George Bush Jr. gets the news about 9/11, which we know is all, bullshit, right? They did that. And he made, it was a good catch. He basically was saying, is Trump maybe trying to tell us something bigger might be coming of this? Because if you look at the pictures, they're both these gentlemen are whispering in the president's ear. It's kind of eerie because we saw that already with Bush. Now we're seeing it here with Trump. Are we on the verge of maybe seeing? Because we know something big. I feel something big is going to come. Who knows when, what, all that stuff. But what are your thoughts on that? Have you seen that yet?
Well, I hadn't seen the pictures. I was trying to pull it up right now, but I was looking at it live when everything went down, and I saw when it happened, and then President Trump said how he had to leave because something's supposed to be breaking with the deal and so forth. But I'm trying to find a picture right now so that I can give.
I just tagged you in it, so I just tagged you in it.
Okay.
So you can kind of see what I'm talking about. It's just kind of eerie. I don't know, Santino, have you seen it? It's a little eerie because we saw it before when the 9/11 towers happened, right? So
No,
it's just a little eerie. Go
No,
ahead.
I haven't seen it, but I haven't seen it, but what I did post right now is that on Friday morning, President Trump will visit Walter Reed Medical Center for a planned meeting and remarks with the troops. While there, President Trump will stop by for his routine yearly checkup. He will then return to the White House. President Trump is considering going to the Middle East shortly thereafter. So, it's a very busy day for him. This is going to be happening on Friday. And this is probably, I would have to say this, and this is my personal opinion, one of his most difficult trips that he's going to have to do, because there's a lot of danger when he's traveling there. We're talking about the Middle East. We're talking about all sides there. So that's what he's doing this Friday in the morning, starting in the morning, and he might be heading off there for the weekend.
Thank you, Santino. Thank you for sharing that. Did you get it, Silk?
Yeah, I did get it. Just to piggyback on Santino, be sure you all to keep President Donald J. Trump and his family in your prayers during his time of travel. Keep him in your prayers and pray that God keep a hedge of protection around everybody because he's doing the work for the American people, and we want to make sure that our president is very well protected. Yes, I do. I do see the pictures, and yeah, it truly is iconic. And then I look over here at Bush, and it's like ironic. So, what a very great comparison.
Great catch, right? That's what I told MJ Truth. I'm like, great catch, because it is. It's on my feed, everybody, if you guys want to check it out, it's kind of eerie. I'll tag you in it, Santino. But yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh, great. I mean, I don't know. What are your feelings about it, Silk? About something big happening? Because we've heard many times it could be something bigger than 9/11, right? Because it's gotta kind of give the gut punch to the people to wake up like, hey, hello. I mean, look at what's happening to our country. We have, you know, the Muslims, they're like taking over, and it's crazy right now. So crazy in crazy many crazy ways, but also in a good way, right? So I would love your thoughts on all that.
Well, I am hearing, that some threats and different things is coming down the pipeline from a lot of these demonic groups and so forth. But I do believe that something is already happening. When I look up in the clouds at night and look up in the sky at night and see the clouds looking like cotton balls. So it's a lot of little different things that's happening. With our technology, with what they're doing. I believe that we are at war right now, and the war is like a silent killer, if you understand what I'm saying. And I also believe that yes, something bigger is still going to be exposed. It has to be exposed. If you think about it, Jenny, our country has been under a restraint for years, for decades. Okay. It's been strained. It's like that foot on the neck of the American citizens have been there. And now we're starting to get a little release and starting to see who had their foot there. What was it? Who controlled what? And we're seeing the stuff. So the evil do not like the fact that we're starting to see, and a lot of people are starting to see what they've been doing, how they've been stealing our wealth, how they've been laundering our money. I mean, we're beginning to see a whole lot. Well, a lot of y'all are. I saw it back in the day. Everybody thought we was crazy and called me and my sister conspiracy theorists, but those conspiracies has come to pass. So I guess we're considered prophets. I don't know. But yeah, once again, Jenny, I do believe something is coming. So just be prayerful, be watchful, and be prayerful every day. Be mindful where you're at, who's around you. Go take care of your business and get on back in if you have to. And just don't be out there in the midst of foolishness.
Amen to that. Amen. And everybody here, if you guys want to request a mic and ask a Silk a question, feel free. It is an open mic. You can talk to the guests at any time. Just request a mic. I will unmute your mic. Don't be shy. We're here for you. Silk is with me every other Wednesday. So please feel free to request a mic. Myself or Santino will unmute you. Go ahead, Santino.
I wanted to ask Silk. Silk, did you notice President Trump today? Like I watched him yesterday. He was actually doing really, really well when he met Carney from Canada. But today I noticed something, and I'm very intuitive, right? Like, I mean, he seemed either he was troubled, he has a lot in his mind, but he's exhausted. I saw it today when he was at the round table speaking. I could tell that he was trying to be intuitive to Pam Bondi and the other one over there. I can't remember her name. It's left my mind, but I just find him, he is tired. He has so much on his plate, and he's dealing with, there's so many things on this plate. It's unbelievable. Do you agree?
Well, I wouldn't say that he's tired because he's a fighter. I believe that he's frustrated, okay, because the way that he chooses to play ball. You have a lot of different people that have infiltrated, once again, the circle, the systems that's probably saying, no, we should do it this way. No, we should do it that way. And I believe that President Trump is really tired of that. See, back in 2016, 17, 18, when he was the president, there was a lot of things that took place that a lot of people don't even know. They removed all of President Trump's loyal supporters from around him, okay? And they infiltrated the system in his circle with all of these Obama leftovers and deep state snakers, okay? All right, so when you look this time, pretty much they're doing some of the same thing. Even though majority of or most of the individuals around President Trump is his supporters, but there's still a lot of people there that it's like draining the swamp, but you still have rats clogging the pipes. There's still a lot of rats there that's still doing a lot of different things. And I think President Trump is a little frustrated because he's ready to go head on and hit a home run. He don't give a doggone. That's what, when I saw him talking today, especially when he was talking to the to the media, he didn't give a doggone. No, who you with? I don't even want to hear from you. Next, just going to the next person. It's just like, look, we ain't playing no more games with y'all anymore. So I just think that he's a little frustrated because he's ready to get stuff done, and he keep getting blocked by a lot of these deep staters, and even down to the fact that we have these rogue judges that want to always come in and try to stop and block President Trump, like we voted for them. But here's my deal. The Democrats, they get their group and they go and sue for and find and rent a liberal judge. Why can't the Republicans get their group and go and sue and rent a judge for the National Guards to go into Chicago, or for whatever the Democrats is coming and fighting against? Why don't we have a group of Republicans to take and offset that with a judgment from their rent a judge? I mean, it's just a ball game that they're playing back and forth. But if I was President Trump, I would ignore all of it. If you remember, Joe Biden ignored a lot of court decisions when it came down, when it was handed down. He ignored it and it kept on destroying this country. So if I was President Donald J. Trump, I would ignore all of them, every judgment, because at the end of the day, President Trump, the Constitution is behind President Trump. The law is behind President Trump. He is the federal government. All right. So that trumps the state. And it also trumps these judges. All right. So if the Democrats feel like they have some legs to stand on, let them go to the Supreme Court. Let them spend their money to take it up the chain. If I was President Trump, I would continue to do what I say I'm going to do and ignore every last one of them. But once again, Santina, to your point, I see frustration. He's not necessarily tired, because President Trump like to go, 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 go. I just see a lot of frustration. He's ready to get some stuff did. But there's people, once again, in his circle that is trying to hold him back. But I think he's going to bust out like the beast, like a bull, just like a bull. Just come on through, and he's going to go head on and take care of this thing. That's how I feel.
Thank you, Silk. Thank you, Santino. Silk, I wanted to ask you a question, because we had the unfortunate situation with Charlie Kirk a few weeks back, and we're coming up on his birthday, October 14th. Now we have Candace Owens coming out talking about she's, doing the kill switch thing. What are your thoughts on all of this? I mean, she's asking, a lot more questions, a lot of the people that we know should be. But what are your thoughts on all this?
Well, that's when I met Charlie Kirk, when him and Candace came on the scene. So, I don't know a whole lot, but I see nothing wrong with her trying to figure out what the hell happened, because a lot of other people they're not doing it. Everybody is just kind of being silent, and she's being very vocal, and she want to know what happened to Charlie, to her friend. I don't know what their relationship was within the last year or two, but still, what happened to him? And she's doing her investigation. She's doing what most journalists refuse to do, and she's investigating to see what's happening. She just continued to pray for her protection. but she's trying to figure out what actually happened so that this won't be swept under the rug like the Las Vegas shooting and many other different travesties that has occurred and they swept under the rug. She don't want this to go under the rug, and I see absolutely nothing wrong with that. Now, as far as getting into the weed of everything, I stay out of the weeds. Stay out of the weeds of it. I let people be people.
Amen to that. I'm right there with you. Staying neutral. I feel you on that. I tell my audience, if anything anybody takes from that whole unfortunate situation, whether whatever happened, right? His message across not just America but the world of faith, God, family, and country. We need to take that, because what we have seen with his whole message is quite the revival. So I take that, and I think that is absolutely phenomenal in what we're seeing.
Amen to that. That's how, and that's where I'm at. I'm staying really neutral. What happened, how it happened was really sad. A shock, and but for him being a Christian and wanting people to get married, have lots of children, and live a happy life, I'm for that, and I try to stay stuck on that instead of all of the other stuff that's going on behind the scenes, because some things ain't looking right. I do know, I will say this, that the person that they got to say that did the shooting, I said that when I first came back after the assassination, that they need to go ahead on and do some investigation, because I know something ain't right here. Something is just not right. So y'all go ahead on and do some deeper investigation. And I don't know if Candace heard me, but she's doing just that and calling a lot of people out to get down to the truth.
Yeah, she is. She absolutely is. Santino, do you want to say anything to that on that whole situation?
I do agree with what she's just said. Yeah, absolutely. When you think about what happened, right? It was devastating to watch the visuals when it first came out. But I think that almost 95% of the people on this app are questioning things, and they have every right to. I mean, things just don't add up. But those are the weeds. That's when you go deep, deep, deep. What I notice that our people are scared. I remember my terminology when I say scared. I mean something else. I mean, they're concerned. There's something. They're concerned about them voicing their opinions, like about, questioning something they saw. I don't understand. It doesn't add up, because there are people that says, just ignore it, accept it for what it is, and move on. When you don't ignore it and you accept it for what it is, and you don't accept for what it is, rather, you start to lose friends on these apps and whatever. But the problem is, not the problem. The good thing is, Candace is saying, she's pushing back. She wants to find out, because this is a time of knowledge and finding out the truth. And so she doesn't, so many things are swept under the rug. So many things have happened, and they just move on. Don't worry about it. Just forget about it. And let's just move on. These are the times where, it doesn't add up. A lot doesn't add up. And, I watched her clip this morning. I think it was this morning. She was questioning, she was speaking about the autopsy as well. And another girl spoke about it too. Now that's interesting, because the autopsy, they have to do an autopsy, and there's a certain time frame. So by law, actually. So they're questioning that as well. But no, I agree with everything you said. I mean, you're absolutely correct. It doesn't add up. There's certain things there, but I just stand back. I have my own thoughts. I will go into other spaces and talk about it, and add things like, I do prosthetics, I do makeup and hair, I do blood work. I know how it works. I've worked on vampire shows and all these shows, and I know where they place the blood bags, how they put this prosthetics in. They cut an opening. There's many things they do. So. And then they also have these air pumps that they put on so to push the blood out. I mean, who knows? The world's a stage.
Yeah.
Boy, haven't we
You
seen
like that
that?
one, didn't you? Suck, don't you take that one, Suck. That's mine. I'm gonna. Don't you take that one? That's a good one, huh?
But that's the truth. The world is a stage, and we sitting back watching it all go down with popcorn. I mean, like, okay, so what they got for us next? But the sad thing, this is what I don't like about the whole situation, in any situation, They think we boo-boo the food, Taco Bell dumb as hell, like we don't really know or be able to decipher between right and wrong or real or not real. And they continue to put this wool over our eyes. And that's why the liberals really hated Diamond and Silk, because we didn't fall for the okie doke. We looked and investigated ourselves, educated ourselves, and reached our own conclusion, okay, on different things. So that's the reason why they didn't like us, because we had something to say about all the things. Even though the rug is pretty at the top, we removed the rug to see all of the corruption underneath the rug. What's going on down here? This is the root to the problem. This is the root to the evil. And so I do believe that's what Candace is doing. And I believe that many more will possibly do the same, the same exact thing.
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Silk, 100%. Shoot, I was just going to ask you something.
Okay.
I just lost it. I was over here reading something. Oh, I forgot. Well, everybody here, if you have a question for Silk, please feel free to raise your hand while I continue to think about my question. But, here, in your opinion, with everything going on and what we're seeing, because a lot of questions come up, what do you foresee happening within the next days, months, coming to the end of the year? Because, we know Trump has talked about a 250, a year-long celebration for America, right? And I think that's happening next year, right? July 4th. So what in your opinion, with everything going on, do you foresee happening with just everything going on?
Well, with everything going on, I foresee goodness happen. Things are opening up for us. The only deal is, unfortunately, we have to fight this evil that wants to keep us stuck in this same realm of corruption, because that's how they live. Why do you think that a lot of these blue states and blue cities don't want help for the crime that's going on in their cities and their states? Because they thrive in the midst of confusion. They thrive in the midst of corruption. Okay, they got to keep it there in order to steal the money, to launder the money, to keep the money coming through. All right. And but what I foresee is that President Trump, and with the help of God, is going to help get us out of this stuff, going to help get us out of this circle that we continue to find ourselves in. And things are going to open up for we the people, because we have somebody that's fighting every day for the will of the American people. So I believe things are gonna get better. I have to stay focused on that. I got to see it. I got to feel it. Feel as if the thing has already happened, and I truly believe that it is going to happen, despite how it may look now. God always wins in the end, and President Trump, he's a winner. President Trump, he loved to win, and he's gonna win in the end.
Amen. And we're seeing too, and this is another thing I tell my audience, we're starting to see a lot of these quote unquote influencers, fake podcasters kind of fall to the wayside, because we know this movement has been infiltrated. Even Netanyahu has come out and said it. Some of these influencers are getting paid $7,000 a post. What do you think on all of that? Because again, we were told many of these people will fall by the wayside.
Yeah. It takes me back to when my mother, God rest her soul, my mother's a pastor, and when she would preach certain sermons and different things, and she preached about this time that we're looking at right now, back in the day, and it just reminds me of all of that. It just reminds me of all of that. So we have a lot of fake trolls, of, like you say, fake podcasters and different things that's really being paid to push the rhetoric, to put it out there. They're getting paid $7,000 now, but back then it was a troll farm that they had out there with all of these different posts and pages to just post the same content. That's part of the evil. That's part of what they do to make it look like it's more of them than it is of us. But I'm here to tell you, it's more of us than it is of them. Okay. So when you know when it's fake. If it do not go with your values, then don't look at it. Don't entertain it. Okay, that's how. And then when you look at the, a lot of times in their profile, you can look at a person's profile and see that it's a fake profile. Okay, so just don't go along with it and don't entertain it. Don't engage with it if you see it and you know that it goes totally against your values.
And since we're talking about evil, what are your thoughts about these people out there, these people going on TikTok or whatever they're doing, posting these videos about going after ICE and the children, and they can find them at their schools and all this kind of stuff? What are your that's pretty evil. That's
Those,
below the belt.
yes, it is. And those individuals need to be deemed a terrorist organization, a terrorist individual, domestic terrorist. Because what you're doing is terrorizing human beings. You're terrorizing American citizens. And you are also communicating threats. All right. We already have laws on the books about communicating threats. You know, I hear a lot of these Congress members, they always want to talk about, oh, we're going to introduce this bill. We're going to introduce that bill to stop this. Hold up. We already have laws and rules that's on the book. So when you have somebody on TikTok talking about they're going to go after the children, that's communicating a threat. What do you do when somebody communicate a threat? Then that's the process that needs to happen with that particular individual. Antifa's already been deemed a terrorist organization. So like I said, don't negotiate with terrorists. All right. If they're on federal property, what you do, you got a bus, a paddy wagon, you take and you lock them right on up, is what you do. You arrest them because they are deemed a terrorist organization and they should not be on federal property. When ICE is going around doing their jobs, this terrorist organization should not be amongst them, period. And if you see them, it's time to arrest them. All right. I understand that this fool up there in Chicago, Brandon Johnson, has put in an executive order for ICE not to be like ICE-free zones is what he did. ICE-free zones is what he basically put in place. All right. And so with him doing that, once again, federal law trumps the state. So he can put and say whatever he wants to say. But if ICE got to go in to get a criminal and ICE is doing their jobs, these individuals that's making threats, that's communicating a threat or posing as a threat, they need to be arrested and go through the process. Because what? They put themselves in that way. You know, when I hear these people saying, oh, it's President Trump, if he bring in the National Guards, oh my God, it's going to be a threat to the community. Well, hold up. How is it that the National Guards is going to be a threat to the community when the National Guards is going in to do their jobs? ICE is going in to do their jobs. But you got people that's there reaping havoc, okay, inciting violence. They're not protesting, they're rioting, okay? Those are the individuals that's causing problems to the community. And those are the individuals that needs to be arrested, processed, and locked up.
Agreed. And here's another one for you, Silk. So, you know, in Michigan, you have the Muslim community, right? They're doing that call to prayer like 5 times a day that goes across the whole city. I think that should be deemed as terroristic. Like, could you imagine hearing that 5 times a day?
I just said that the other night on my show that the radical Muslims need to be deemed a terrorist organization because you're terrorizing American citizens. We don't need to be hearing all of that stuff, okay? We were founded on Judeo-Christian values. I'm a Christian, right? That's here in America. Everybody have a right to their own religious ideology. And if you want to sing, we go into our churches and sing, all right? If they want to hum, chant, or whatever they need to do at 5 or 6 in the morning, they need to do it in their mosques, inside of their homes or what have you, because we have a noise ordinance. This is the United States. We have a noise ordinance. And also, if you think it needs to be on loudspeakers and you need to practice your religion or ideology and impose it on other people, then you need to go back to your own foreign land. Okay, because that's why you ran from your foreign land anyway, because of all of the terrorists and the different corruption that was going on over there. So you came over here for freedom. Now that you got freedom, that don't give you the right to impose it on me. That don't give you the right to try to indoctrinate me. And that's where a lot of these people, these religious ideology, they get it twisted. I don't care who you choose to call God. I don't care what religion you choose to believe in or who you choose to worship. I don't care about that. What I care about is you crossing the line, trying to impose it on me if I'm not interested in it. If I'm interested in it, I'll come to you. But you ain't got to come to me. You ain't got to go into the grocery stores and tell the grocery stores to take the alcohol out of the grocery stores or out of the corner stores because we don't believe in drinking alcohol. If you don't believe in drinking alcohol, then don't you purchase alcohol. If you don't believe, once again, in eating the pig, if you don't believe in eating the bacon, then don't you purchase the bacon to eat it. As for me and my house, we're going to eat some bacon. I'm going to eat some pork chops. I'm going to eat some pig feet. I'm going, yes, I'm going to have my
Don't forget the eggs.
Yeah, the egg. I'm going to have my ham hocks and my collard greens. I'm going to do all of that because that's what I choose to do. I'm here supposed to be in the land of the free, the home of the brave, not slaves. And I refuse to be enslaved to anybody's ideology. And furthermore, I believe that the Muslim community need to go back to their foreign country. There should not be a such thing as a Muslim community where they come in here, purchase up blocks of land, and then deny Americans to drive down a road or come into that space or what have you. I don't think that should be here in America. But once again, to each his own. Please do not force me to cover up my face and my head. It's bad enough. I'm wearing a wig and it's already hot. I don't need to be hotter. Okay. I got to have my hair and different things, and I don't choose to wrap my face up and all you see is my little beady eyes, and I can't put on no makeup, and my man can't look at me, and I can't I can't look. I don't have time for that stuff, girl.
We can't. We can't cover up our silk, man. No, she's too pretty for that.
Yeah. I can't put on my eyelashes and stuff. Got all these rags up on me. I'm not interested in it. And if we have any Muslims that's here on the chat, then it's to each his own. If that's what you choose to do and you choose to be indoctrinated into that is your prerogative to do it, just like it's my prerogative to not do it. And that's even down to the trans community, all of these different communities. People want you to accept them, but they can't accept themselves. So it's wrong for you to pose your ideology, your belief on anybody, especially if you don't believe it yourself. And that's where I draw the line at. I just don't get down like that. And I was talking about that thing the other night. I don't have time. I don't choose to do all of that stuff. So if they're going to go around here terrorizing American citizens, then they need to be deemed a terrorist organization. And a loud damn speaker at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, especially when I'm just getting my good sleep, I don't need to hear all that stuff because I have a lot of work to do later on that day. Okay? If they want to hear, they need to put some earplugs in their ears and they can listen to it and follow the formality that way, or go back to their own foreign country and they can have as many loudspeakers they want to over there and sing Kumayan or whatever else they want to sing.
Amen, girly. Amen. Well said. Santino, do you want to add on to that? Go ahead. And then Stalking Panther, you can go after Santino.
No, you know what? I love listening to Silk. I mean, everything she's saying is, we're all entitled to our beliefs, our personal beliefs. But I mean, you know what? You don't force them on other people. I mean, like she's saying, your beliefs, your religious beliefs, the clothes you wear, the way you do your hair, the things you believe, that's fine. You can believe as long as you're not hurting anybody else. But don't push them on other people. I mean, the United States is based on all cultures and all religions and what have you. But where you cross the line is when you're you start to push your ideologies, your beliefs, whether it comes to religion or whatever. I mean, just keep it to yourself. And of course, that gentleman left, and I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. You know why? Because that is exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you.
Oh, wait, are you talking about somebody that left here? Is that what you're saying?
That is exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, I love you,
And
Cynthia.
I think Silk knows exactly what I'm talking about too.
What are you talking about? Just break it on down like a sawed-off shotgun. What you saying?
No, I think everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay. All right.
Just people we notice people that come into these spaces, and they, we had a couple in our last space, the disruptors, if you will, and they like to spin their narratives.
Well, I mean, I can spin it back. And see, that's the deal. I want everybody to understand. See, people, you can say what you want to me. And if I don't like it, I can turn around and say what I don't, what I want to you. And people, especially Republicans, don't know how to fight back. We don't know how to speak back. We don't know how to speak up. And we allow people to take advantage of us. So you come up in here and you ask me a question and you say something stupid, you're going to get a stupid response. And then we're going to move on to the next person. That's how I operate. I don't play games like that with nobody. You can say whatever you want to, but then just like you had the right to say whatever you want to, I have a right to say whatever I want to back to you.
And that's what I love about you, so, because it's like you're real. You're none of this push and pull or flippy flop. I can't stand that. You're just straight to the point. You're transparent, and I love that, because that's what we need in this world right now. There's just too many flip floppers and just all over the place that it gets too convoluted.
Jenny, that's what I love about President Donald J. Trump. He is just straight to the point. He is real. He call it how he sees it. He says it how it needs to be said, direct and to the point. Period. Just period. All of this sly talking and all of these big ass words that we can't have, say, or even understand. We ain't got time for that stuff. Look, our country is at war right now. We have domestic terrorists going on in here. They're under the thumb and the wings of the Democrat Party. Whoever is funding it needs to be held accountable. And they can start with that black mother bastard up there in Chicago named Mayor Brandon Johnson. Okay, because what he is doing is treasonous. He's an insurrectionist. He's a rebellion. He's rebellion against the federal government, and he needs to be going to jail for aiding and abetting illegal aliens. They also need to audit a lot of these blue cities and these blue states. If any federal dollars is going into those areas, they need to be audited to see where is the money truly going.
Yeah, I agree. And him allowing his police officers to tell Antifa how to take on these ICE agents is horrible. Speaking of going after and auditing, did you see CPS is now, Doge is going now after CPS, everybody. That's huge. They're going to go in and do an audit and do some investigation on CPS.
Good. That's good. Yeah.
That's huge.
Investigate all of them. And have they did the I, the R, and the S yet?
I think they did. Did they, Santino?
I just love the way she said it.
I know the I,
the
the R,
I,
and the
R,
S.
yes, and the sometimes why.
Did Doge go after IRS?
I think they
I think they did.
They did actually, and a lot of them just left, right? A lot of them, they got their pink slips and they left. Yes.
Okay, good. So now we need to shut the whole thing down. The IRS needs to be gone, demolished, unrooted. They need to shut the I, the R, the S down because it ain't nothing but a cartel as far as I'm concerned.
You're right. You're right. And with this shutdown, Silk. So we've been in it now, what, 7 days? How
Mm-hmm.
long? Because I was reading something that the Schumer shut down, that they were not going to reopen up or agree to until they absolutely gave all the illegals free medical care. Give me a break. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, Trump, and then this is what people I don't think understand. He's a wartime president. He has all kinds of powers, and this shutdown right now gives him a lot of power to do a lot of things. So I think people just kind of let it play out. Be patient, because I do believe we're going to see a lot more stuff coming. What do you think, so?
Well, I think the shutdown should stay in place for the next 4 years, as long as President Trump is the president of the United
Yes.
States. Because if you look at it, just think about it. What has happened? I don't see a lot of the Congress members up there going back and forth and all of that, because they're not coming. A lot of them not coming to work. All right. I don't hear all of that bickering and all of that different stuff, but the country is still running itself. It's still running itself. Minimize the government is what I say. Minimize it. Fire everybody. And see, sometimes, when you are a business owner, entrepreneur, and your business falls short, sometimes you have to lay some people off, only to realize you didn't need them in the first place. Okay. So a lot of these different agencies and a lot of these different governmental individuals, do we need them? Do we really truly need them? And right now, I say keep it shut down, and just let them just sit up there, and just the Democrats sit up there and just roost, because it's not bothering me. Is it bothering y'all? Everything
Nope.
seems to be
Nope.
going okay, and let President Trump utilize his powers to get the work done. If that's what needs to happen, then so be it.
Amen. And I've said many times to my audience members that the government's going to be 10% of what we see now. I mean, it has to be, because we are the government now, right? We govern. So they work for us. We don't work for them. So I agree. I'm right there with you, Silk. I don't think it's going to open up anytime soon. And heck, yeah, if it can stay down for the next, for as long as it needs to while Trump's in office, let's do it. Go for it, Santino.
No, I was just going to circle back to the IRS. When you really think about it and you do a deep dive, it was never erratized. So it's really unconstitutional. So
Yeah.
it's one of those things where it's an option. You can, or you don't want to. So really people have been bamboozled when you think about it, because it's never ratified. It's really technically unconstitutional to pay taxes, right?
It's illegal. What we're doing is illegal. For them to be even taking money from us is illegal. And then to come out and harass people, that's illegal. Shut the whole thing down. That's what I
Well,
say.
the harassing, it's, and they put people in the fear of it, right?
Yep.
So if you don't pay, this is your consequence, which is straight up BS. There is a form in your tax forms, everybody, that basically says that you're volunteering to pay for these taxes. So yes, it is illegal.
Yeah. Yeah. And see, and that's why I'm a big talker when it comes down to my tax dollars, because I'm a taxpayer. Okay. I'm a taxpayer. I'm a taxpaying citizen. So if you're not going to do right by the dollars that I do send up there to fund the government, then I got a lot to say. I'm going to keep on talking and keep on telling the truth about what they're doing up there. But as of right now, it's like, why the hell are we even paying taxes to fund a government that's not working for us? Okay. Why are we paying Congress and paying the Senate to work for us, and they're working for illegal aliens? And I'm sorry, I can't just fault Democrats. I have to fault Republicans too, because they also approved a lot of the money for the Democrats to spend on their pet projects. All right. Yeah, we're starting to see all of that stuff come out. So it's why are we paying taxes to fund these people that don't give a doggone about us, the American citizens, the actual taxpayers?
Well, too, and wait until the American people find out what their tax money has been going to. The
Yes.
trafficking of the children, the harvesting of their organs, the adrenochrome. Everybody, it's mortifying when you find out what your taxpayers have been going to. Not just the illegals or all this other stuff, road construction, but the trafficking and the harvesting of the blood and the organs of these children. And remember, everybody, a lot of these children, when they're doing these things to them, if you've gone down those rabbit holes, a lot of these children are still alive when this transpires, and this is what makes it so demonic and just heart wrenching. Once you go down that rabbit hole, you can't unsee it. So be careful if you decide to go down those rabbit holes, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. But it's horrifying. This is what our tax dollars are going to, everybody, and that should just piss you off.
Yeah, not to mention a lot of the paid protesters, the way our money is being laundered through the NGOs, through the non-governmental organizations, through all of their little PAT projects and different things, and how they're laundering the tax dollars through those different systems so that that money can come back to their pocketbook, and they can pay for all of this criminality that we see going on today. All right. And it's our tax dollars. But I really would love for President Trump to just get up one day and say, you know, guys, we're going to shut this here down, shut it all down, because we're getting tariffs. We're getting billions of dollars in tariffs. That's supposed to fund the government. Okay. Not the American citizens. We're not supposed to fund the government. Now, we supposed to pay taxes to the state that's supposed to cover the fire department, the police department, and so forth. All right. But when it comes down to the federal government, that's really supposed to come through the form of tariffs, not through the form of our tax dollars.
Thank you. So go ahead, Santino.
No, I just wanted to add what you guys were talking about. You know, we're not even talking about the lavish lives these people lead. I mean, look at the dinners, the homes, the cottages, the cars. You're paying for their kids' Ivy schools or education, and those perversion parties they have. I mean, we have to really understand, like, when we watch these big gala events, these gala dinners, that's your tax dollars. I mean, literally your tax dollars. And no person sitting in the Senate House should have 2 or 3 homes across the world and have these, you know, Rolls Royces and Mercedes and what have you. I mean, this is just coming out of my head from when I was trying to pick things out. But I mean, and the clothes they're wearing, all those designer clothes. Listen, I'm not saying, yeah, if you can afford it, if you saved up for it, Nancy Pelosi, go buy it. But if you're taking the money if you're dipping your hand in people's tax dollars, which are supposed to pay for the United States, for the infrastructure, for all these things, that's where it's supposed to be going, not to your, like, you know, inside trading and your ice cream in your freezer and all that crap. I mean, it just pisses me off to no end how we have to, and it pisses me off the fact that it's rubbed in people's faces. Rubbed in people's faces. They are trying to put food on the table for their children, yet they're watching somebody who they voted in having, like, I don't know, filet mignon and champagne, and it's on your tax dollars.
That's right. You're absolutely right. It's a disgrace. And that's what's been going on. That's why nothing has really gotten done. You put $1 billion for a bridge and you don't even have the bricks for the bridge, and it's been 10 years. That's ridiculous. And our money shouldn't be going towards rats, the experiments of rats, them chopping off the male rats' penises to see if it can get pregnant, and taking the other rat and seeing a lobster run on a treadmill underwater. All of that crazy stuff, our money should not be going towards that. We got people around here that's homeless, that's hungry. And I thought that, you know, our money's supposed to go to help those individuals. But our money is really being wasted. So I ask the question again, why the hell are we paying taxes?
Amen. I know you're short. You got to get going, but there's one question. Hefe, did you have a question for Silk right here? Go ahead. Your mic's unmuted.
Oh, shoot.
Jeffy?
Hey, no, I just want to say hey to everybody. And I don't know, she kind of nailed it. Honestly, I was listening to her so much, I lost my train of thought when I raised my hand. But I think what we have to remember is we're all under the same roof, and their goal is to turn us against each other. As long as we understand that we're all struggling, and we're all trying to figure this crap out to where we can, we just want life like it was in the 80s and 90s, bro. Like, we're not asking for too much. Just, I want to be able to, like, if I want to go fishing on the weekend, I can go buy a freaking hotel room at the beach and on a pier and just fish for like $200. I'm not trying to spend $3,000 to do that. And I think, the goal with the government is they want to direct all of the things they put on us as it's what we say against the other person. When in reality, we all understand that somebody who makes $250,000 as a private contractor and somebody who makes $250,000 as a politician don't own the same size boats or houses. And that's the discrepancy that we need to actually focus on. And we have to stay attention down and like understand that we are all in the same boat. We have to stop hating each other. We have to stop this violence. We have to stop this craziness in the streets. We have to understand the people that are pulling the strings are the ones we need to be angry at, not each other. And until we do that, it's just going to be chaos. And we're digging our own graves here, folks. We got to figure this shit out.
Amen to that. You're absolutely right. It's united we stand, divided we fall. Okay?
Amen.
The United States, not the divided states. And don't be enslaved to their foolishness. Don't let them divide us based off of the stuff that they've made up. Okay, we're one race, and that is the human race. I love you all. Don't forget Diamond and Silk Chit Chat Live, you all, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. I'm going to be coming on in 4 minutes. My producer is calling me right now. So I'm on my way, and I love you all. Thank you all so much.
Love you, Silk. We'll see you in 2 weeks. And everybody, thank you for being here. Santino, thank you once again for co-hosting. And we'll talk to you soon, Silk. Love you. Good night, everybody.
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.